Hey guys, Adam Ringham coming at you here from Casa de Jumanji. The other day I posted an idea about something for support hair growth, and I was going to test it for myself first and, make sure it worked, all this other stuff, but you see that takes time, so I thought I'd throw the idea out. How about I just share my thought process behind it, and you guys can decide if you want to try it or not. So I'm not going to make any claims. I'm not saying that it works at all. I'm not, no medical, I'm just throwing some ideas out here, and you can entertain them for yourself and see what you think. So what I did is I came across an article while I was cruising Facebook that talked about using, just putting different plant-based oils in your hair, leaving it there and then washing it out for a little bit. They recommended using something ridiculous that, make sure if you're going to put something on your head to try and support your hair growth, you really want it to be good for you. So rather than use a bunch of these other oils that, vegetable oils that you're going to put in your hair, like olive oil or coconut oil, I thought about the idea for a long time and came up with the better idea of you should use hemp seed oil. And I'll throw a link up to where to get some. It's on a great sale right now, which is the best part about it. It's like half what I normally pay. So hemp seed oil has something in it called super omega-3 fatty acids that if you're looking for a good mercury-free fish oil, the problem is that's really expensive. So, it's worth it, yes, obviously, but a really much more cost-effective option is hemp seed oil because it has super omega-3 fatty acids. It's got chlorophyll. This blows fish oil out of the water, plus it'll save you a whole ton of money so then you can afford a bunch of other oils. So I'll throw a link up to it, one that's on sale that I really like the company. Nutiva, they do a nice job, environmentally friendly. So that's, but without further ado, we're going to move on. So my thought process is, people like to say, hey, this hair thing is genetic. Well, I'm not sure if I entirely buy into that all the way. I'm not saying one way or the other that it is true or isn't true. Perhaps there is an actual test out there that can reveal if you're got the hereditary genes. Well, there's also the factor of epigenetics in there. Can you change those genes? Something for you to ponder and you to decide what you think. So coming across that, a big thing I looked at, there's the obvious thyroid issue, which the thyroid and the hair are very connected to each other. And so that's a different process in itself that one will have to address. Make sure to get adequate iodine and different oil. You can use different things to support your thyroid. Whole different topic, different day. Perhaps Tony will do a sweet video on that of specifically straight up thyroid. Here's all the different things. Tony always does a wonderful job of explaining these things, and it always turns into like a whole movie episode, and I love it. So anyway, here was kind of what I was thinking. Well, the other half of the story is the thyroid and the adrenals are very linked to each other. When one suffers, the other one then suffers as well because it has to pick up the slack. And so what ends up happening is that makes a lot of the stress hormone cortisol. And so cortisol also will then cause, especially for men, can happen in women too, it'll cause testosterone to break down into DHT, or the dihydrotestosterone, instead of the estrogen it should break down into. And so if you're very stressed out, you're going to be far more prone to getting these higher levels of cortisol and higher levels of DHT. So that's the first issue that I want to try and address is the DHT. The second one is also the heavy metals that like to get out there. Heavy metals have a real affinity for the fascia in the head, for the brain because of the high electrical activity that's up there. And heavy metals are attracted to high levels of electrical activity. That's why these heavy metals get stuck in your DNA because of the powerful negative charge from it. And heavy metals and emotions and DNA, different topic. What I'm going to share here is the thought process behind what I was doing. So what we do is you take our hemp seed oil, and I just took a 15 milliliter bottle of clove oil. And I added, now this recipe too is not perfect. This is just a thought process I'm throwing out, and you can definitely try it out. And I would be very open to hear if you do something different. If you have a reason why you did it different, feel free to share it, let people know. And the other thing that I would ask is that you would share this video too for just anybody to see. Because, we're kind of all in this together. I'm sharing it for a bunch of people that not in my downline at all, so I really don't benefit from this at all. I'm just throwing it out there because I want to. And so I ask that you do the same. Just share it for anybody. Let's just get information out to everybody, because for humanity right now, it's about all of us. It's not about one of us anymore. Like, we all have got to raise our consciousness level and our vibration. So I know there's a whole bunch of men, like myself included, would absolutely love to have tons of different hair. Mine all fell out at like age 7. I have a hypothesis on why, different story. But take this 10 milliliter bottle of clove, pop that little top off. Everybody knows how to do that that's got these bottles. And what I did for a recipe was 10 drops of clove, because clove has a real affinity for heavy metals in the discharge and very great for the immune system boosting. It'll get a real tingling going on. And so what we're going to try and do is move these heavy metals out. And the big reason why is when we move these heavy metals out using different oils that help support heavy metal chelation, what we're going to do when we put these, we're going to mix it all together, put this hemp seed oil in there, we're going to put it, I like to do it at the gym, just because blood's moving around, get it flowing. I put a dirty hat on, I don't care about whatever else. It's just a good spot to do it. Get home, I got a shower anyway. So we put it up in our hair, and a bunch of these oils are not only going to be to support the hair follicles, but help chelate these heavy metals, because heavy metals have an affinity for fat and nervous tissue. And nervous tissue is very fatty tissue around. It's got that myelin sheath. Brain is made up of tons of fats and cholesterol, as are nerves. So what we're going to try and do is pull those heavy metals up into the hemp seed oil and try to pull the cortisol up into that hemp seed oil, because cortisol has an affinity for fat, as does leptin and these other stress hormones. So what we're trying to do is take the clove, which is good for that. Then we're going to use coriander as well. Coriander, I only used 5 drops because coriander is very powerful and a very interesting one when it comes to chelating mercury and aluminum. So be careful, don't do too much. You can drop a helichrysum, a couple of them if you want. Helichrysum, very interesting heavy metal chelation support abilities. Now that one, I don't have any of it, so you have to decide if you'd like to do that. The other one I used, cedarwood. Cedarwood has also got, it's good for rooting and grounding, kind of like we're trying to support the roots of the hair, to ground them and get them going. When the heavy metals are there blocking the electrical conductivity, the roots can't grow down. So I think of it akin to if you've got plants outside that have a heavy metal toxicity in the soil, the roots can't grow very well because they end up dying. So that's kind of what I'm looking at here, is support these roots across with these root hormone kind of colored things, the brown, the earthy, the blacks, the reds. So you could add more. Then I used lavender because lavender is just a balancer, good support across the boards. I also used, I did 5 drops of lavender, 10 of cedarwood, 10 of clove, 10 coriander, and then I did 5 of Ylang Ylang, because Ylang Ylang has aromatase inhibitor properties, which is, it's got an interesting affinity to interact with DHT. And so Ylang Ylang, a great balancer. It smells amazing. It is one of my favorite flowers. I love this stuff. And then finally I did 5 drops of clarity as too, just for good measure. Because I'm like, well, what happens if I do it now? Am I saying all this is perfect? Am I saying I have the exact formula? Absolutely not, but I'm going to share the idea that we're going to take this hemp seed oil with the other oils combined to try and support our head, our hair in multiple different ways, and then take these cortisol, these stress hormones, these DHTs, and these heavy metals, and let them absorb up into the hemp seed oil. So after we've had this stuff on for about an hour, we go in, wash our hair, rinse it all off, and my hypothesis is that we'd be able to rinse away some of these extra hormones like the DHT and the cortisol and the heavy metals, which have the affinity for fat, to try and wash them out that way. Instead of trying to clean them out through the body, let's let them absorb up into the fats from hemp seed oil, which has tons of different nutrients in it that are great for supporting a whole myriad of things. Like this is, the outrageousness of the war on the hemp plant is just, I can't even believe it. You start looking into the story, I encourage you to look it up for yourself, but you look into it and you're just going to be mind blown. Like, how is this not more, why are we not doing more of this instead of buying fish oil and all the other ridiculous things we're doing? But that's kind of what I have for us. There's also, too, I'd like to give a shout out to Barney Kuntz. He's got the Young Living Summit going on. It's at Facebook/YL Summit. Go ahead and take a look. He's doing some great giveaways. And if you like information, this summit has got some really great contests and free stuff going on. And the people that are in the summit, I mean, I myself am included in it. I did a talk on kids with essential oils and emotions spiritually, some epigenetic stuff. But I don't want to talk really about so much me, as the other presenters have just some great information. I converted a few videos for them, and so I got to look at their presentations before the rest of everybody else did, besides maybe Barney. And there's really cool information that if you're trying to empower yourself, with knowledge and trying to learn on a few things, definitely check out that YL Summit. You can even just go onto Google and type in YL Summit 2016, and you'll be able to find it. I mean, I have faith in you and your deductive powers that you can get there, but hopefully my ideas of what I'm thinking and sharing my hypothesis, intrigued you. Hopefully you got something stirring up in the head, or hopefully you got some hair stirred up at that top of that head there, and it sounded like something cool. So feel free to let me know, if you like it, if you don't, if you got some other ideas, if you got something else you want to add. I mean, like I said, this is not a perfect formula. I'm just sharing an idea, and you take over the rest and see what you can do. So, giving a shout out to the High Vibe Tribe, loving the videos coming. Jordan, you finished your cleanse and went out. Man, willpower of the gods to do that right now, because I even go 24 hours just doing a little bit of fasting. I'm like, I am so cold, I hate this, I am not doing 10 days, I'm not even doing 3 days, I'll do one, twice a week or something, but that's just because I'm a hippie. So general high vibe trail, we got lots of cool stuff coming up. Chris and I just worked on something great yesterday. We'll get it out to you soon. We can't do it yet, but oh, the story of it. You'll laugh, that's all I know. It's wonderful. So everybody out there, stay vibing high. Hopefully this helps brighten your day a little bit. And remember to stay healthy, my friends.